Hi, I'm Bob with Wolfe Ridge. Right now, I've got a special treat for you guys. We have a diesel-powered 35 SHO box wedge machine in the yard, and we've got a new pump on it that's a little bit quicker, and we're running a 4x4 box wedge on this one, where our standard one is a 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm gonna give you guys a walk around of this machine, and then we're gonna make some firewood with it. This is the box wedge machine in the 35 SHO build. The box wedge machine we can build on a 35 SHO frame, which would be road towable, or a 35 HDI frame, which would be the skid mounted, where you can move it with pallet forks or an SSQA adapter. But let's talk about this 35 SHO box wedge machine. This one has the biggest engine possible. This has a Kubota D902, 25 horsepower diesel with a 38 GPM hydraulic pump. So you'll notice we're going to get a little bit more speed out of this today. Here's a look at the controls for this machine. Being a diesel, it has its own standalone control box here. We've got off, and then if we turn the key forward one, we will get the glow plugs. So all these test lights will come on first, then the glow plug light will be on. Once the glow plug light is off, then we'll crank it to start it. Turn it back off for now. The box wedge does have auto cycle on it. So if we hit both of these valves forward, as soon as it gets to the end of the stroke, pushes all the wood through, it'll kick off this one, and then when it gets all the way home, it'll kick off this one. You can still run this manually as well. So if you've got some challenging stuff on a box wedge machine, I would recommend to just use this one. That way, if it does get stopped up halfway through, it won't try to return home. And then over here, we've got the hydraulic log lift. And the HO and the SHO machines have a longer log lift on it. Right now it's in the stowed position. I'll come around here and I will flip that down. So you can see you could put quite a bit of logs on there. The HO and the SHO machines have the aluminum sorting table on them. And here you can see we're using that 4-inch square box wedge. The new wedges have etching in them, which is really nice. If you have multiple wedges in the yard, it's easy to locate them. The diesel engine uses an in-house built aluminum welded tank, and it is a 10.5 gallon fuel capacity. Here you can see that we've got the fuel gauge on it. This customer had an extra port put here. This is not standard on this machine, so the diesel machines don't typically come with that, so you can disregard that. But then you've got your supply and your return line. They go to and from the diesel engine. And you can see the diesel engine is all its own unit here. It's got its own cooling system in it, radiator. On the back side, you can see the fuel filter, spin-on fuel filter. It actually has two fuel filters. You've got one before it gets to the engine, and then you've got this one on the engine. And then over here, you can see the engine oil filter. And then underneath, we have a hole in the frame for the engine oil drain. You can see that right there. So oil changes are pretty easy with this one. SHO machines come standard with the hydraulic oil cooler. So we've got that here. It's powered by a 12-volt fan. We use an SAE 2-pin connector here to plug that in, and we recommend unplugging it when it's not in use. There's been question about using switches, but the switches just don't hold up in the elements, and these are very robust plugs. And if something was to happen, they're very easily replaced. This machine has an extra power output on it because this customer got the optional LED light tower here. All the HO and SHO machines have this fold-away drawbar on there, and on the box wedge machine, there is an extra spot here to hold your traditional wedges. So box wedge machine comes standard with a drop-in 2-way wedge and a mechanically adjusted 4-way wedge. And this customer opted to get also the 12-way wedge. And all of those can be on the drawbar of this machine out of the way. You have the front swivel drop leg here, and we've got one in the back as well. This machine is very stable once we have it parked and have the legs down. And underneath it here also, you can see that the customer got the optional LED taillight package. The HO and the SHO machines like this with the road axle have a 32-inch beam height, so it's really easy, even if you're 6 foot tall, to work next to this thing and keep it fed with logs. Additionally, they have a suspended road axle with highway radials, and you can pull this thing up to about 80 miles an hour. So as I said earlier, we're going to be using the 4x4 box wedge. The standard box wedge is 3.5 by 3.5, and the box wedges are interchangeable. They are not height adjustable, but they are interchangeable. And you can see down here, there's just one big pin that we will remove to change the wedge. And that would go the same for taking the box wedge out and putting in the two-way standard wedge. It just drops in right there and you put the pin in. Box wedge machines also come standard with the pullback arm, which is removable. We can just slide it right out of here if we don't want to use it. Let's say if you're using the traditional wedges. You can see the box wedge machine has a much larger push block on it, and we're still using the bronze self-lube slides on here, so you don't need to grease up this beam and get it all full of debris. All right, one more thing on the engine controls I did not mention was the throttle control. It's right here. It locks in place. There's a push button if you want to do fast movements of it, so we can push this button in and we can pull it out. That would be wide open throttle. If we push this rubber button in and then we slide it all the way back like this, then we would be low throttle. Additionally, if you want to fine tune, you can just go counterclockwise to give it more throttle or clockwise to throttle it down. So let's start this thing up now. Again, on cold days, you would be waiting longer for these glow plugs to warm up, but today it's about 70 degrees, so it's not going to take long. But you can watch all your test lights will come on and make sure that everything is working. Now we're ready. So now we're idling, and then I'll give you a demo of this throttle. As we turn it, you'll see it start to go up. And if we want to go wide open, and if we want to idle back down, easy as that. We've got a VSC back here, but that's for a different day. Here are some logs. We're going to bring these over. And here you can see the Wolfe Ridge firewood bucket. We are going to put this thing through its paces. I'm going to have Nick run the machine so I can actually get some close-up video for you guys of what's going on with this box wedge machine. Here's something I want to bring up about the box wedge machine too. Before you're done using it, you can clean out the wedges, and that's what Nick's doing right now. Also, if you ever jam up one of the pockets here, you take a couple nice pieces of this, of nice square ones that you already have, and you can just put that on the beam and focus on which pocket of the wedge needs to get cleaned out. We are going to put the traditional 12-way wedge on now. So to do that, we'll pull the pin for this. We'll slide this returner arm out of the way. And then it is pretty much a two-person job to get this wedge out of here. Just a little bit of weight there. I'll wait for you to come over here maybe.
You can do it yourself, but you'll probably end up...
Yeah, if there's two people present. We'll just set this aside. So then we're going to grab the two-way that comes with this machine and we're going to drop that in here. Then we'll bolt the 12-way to that two-way. The machine comes with an in-house made wrench actually for bolting and unbolting those traditional wedges and adjusting the height. So I'm moving that two-way wedge around, and the optional ones that attach to this two-way, that's not that hard to do. Comes with this two-way and it comes with the four-way wing that bolts here. There's an optional 6-way and an optional 12-way. And like I said, the height adjustment, you've got these scalloped holes in this two-way. So we'll put the 12-way on where we kind of think is going to be a good point.
This one's not that heavy, it's just awkward.
Yeah. You can see here there's a notch for this bolt to actually fit into. After we get that bolt through, then we'll put the nut on. And the nut has serrations on it, so it's kind of a lock nut. You can, once that's in there, this notch is holding the bolt tight, so we'll just snug up this nut here, and then we're gonna throw a few more rounds on this thing. Well, we made a pile of wood in a short amount of time. I don't know, this machine, okay, now it's got 5/10 of an hour on it. So we really didn't run it much. This was some old seasoned red oak, and it was pretty hard stuff, as you could tell, going through either one of those wedges that we had. If we would have thrown like a 6-way on here, we could have really just flew through some stuff. But we like to do the smaller splits here for our bundle wood, and the stuff that we had here, there was a bunch of rounds, different sizes, different lengths, and we just kind of threw it through to show you guys what it could do. But I mean, an example of some of this red oak, you can see it was all cracking at the ends. It's been sitting around for quite a while here. Now I do want to address, we do have a bunch of kindling and chaff in here. That is just a byproduct of using a box wedge or a multi-way wedge. When you use a box wedge, you have a tendency to sometimes shear the wood, and that's how you'll get a bunch of these kindling pieces like this. But also when you use a multi-way wedge, you create more of this. So if we were to just use, let's say, a 4-way traditional wedge on this, we would have minimal amount of this. When you go to the 6-way, you'll have a little more. Then when you go to the 12-way, you make more of that. Now, the plus side is you'll make more of that kindling and chaff and debris and stuff, but the plus side is that you will make 12 pieces of firewood in one pass, for example, with that 12-way wedge. So to have a little bit of that added extra kindling and stuff, it's really not that big a deal for most people. You can sell it separately, or you can use it to start your own fires, or you could use it with one of our smokeless fire rings in your wood yard. All right, I'm gonna back my truck up to this machine, get it hooked up to the truck, and I'm gonna pull it back to the staging yard behind the factory. First thing I did was I would put that back drop leg in the horizontal or up position, and then I would lift the front drop leg, and that would give me enough clearance so I could put the hitch onto the truck. And we use a 2-inch ball hitch coupler on here. You can see we've got safety chains, and again, this customer did get the optional LED taillight package on this thing, so we've got a 4-pin flat connector hooking it to the truck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun running this machine. Unfortunately, it's got to go down the road real quick, so I didn't have a whole lot of time with it. This one is heading out to our dealer, C&M Equipment, out in Oregon, and I know there's a customer that's waiting for this thing. He ordered this with the overhead LED light option package, the taillight LED option package. He got the 12-way standard wedge. He got a 4-inch box wedge, and I think he got a couple other box wedges with this thing too. He got a ton of stuff with this, so he's going to be doing all kinds of stuff with it once he gets it. If you want more information on this machine or any of the other products that Wolfe Ridge offers, please check out our website, www.wolferidgemfg.com. There you can find all of our machines with all of the pricing. What you need to do is go to each product and pick your color and what options you want, and you will see a price populate live as you do that. So you can see this box wedge machine with the diesel engine on it. You can configure it just as we have in this video here, and you can get a live price on our website. As I mentioned, this is a dealer machine. We do now have 6 dealers, and in total, we have 10 dealer locations. If you want more information on the dealer nearest you, please check out our website and click on the Dealers tab. There I have all of the email addresses listed, websites, phone numbers, and more. As always, you can email us or call us if you have any questions. I'll make sure I put all these links in the description. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what's next at Wolfe Ridge.